Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new video. Today we have a special guest. You've seen a couple of his plays before. It's Kanaduh. He's an arena master at this point. I think it's his favorite game type. But today he's going to walk us through a particular civ on arena, the Cumans. Welcome, Kanaduh.
Hey, what's going on, Sneaky?
Not much, man. Looking forward to the Super Bowl later today.
This game is my Super Bowl. Yeah, not an NFL fan.
No worries. So walk us through what we're doing here today.
So this is a ranked 1v1 arena. My opponent is like 1,500 games played, 1650 ELO.
Wow.
So relatively decent level here. And I guess if you've seen my recent videos, I've been playing a lot of Byzantines. They're all around solid civ. Now he is the Cumans, which changes everything. They're one of the weird civs that kind of change up how you would approach the game, pretty much on every map, I think, but especially on arena.
Gotcha. So I thought you were playing as the Cumans. You're still the Byzantines here, up against the Cuman
Yes.
player. So when you see
Correct.
that, like, you obviously don't know what your opponent's going to do. What's your instant thought when you see Cumans?
So there's two things they can do. One is the kind of, it's almost a meme strategy, but the whole battering ram feudal age shenanigans. It's really not that strong, in my opinion, because villagers can tank rams, but you never know if someone's going to do that. The most common play is the 20 pop feudal boom, so they make that second town center super early, and they'll get like 20 villagers ahead of you really quickly, and then have a ridiculously strong castle age.
And I noticed in your games you usually wrangle the goats fairly early. Do you like to get goats and herding animals before your boar? And if so, is there a particular reason?
It really depends. I mean, saving them is fine. It depends on where your scout is. By with Cumans, actually, it's just a little tidbit here.
Sure.
They have a bonus here. I'll actually show you, which is important for arena. This one right here, cavalry 5% faster each age. So that means that since they're probably going to go up at 20 population, they're going to be up super quick way before me. So if my scout gets caught out in the middle, he's going to kill it. Now, that applies to every civ, but with Cumans, it's even 5% faster in feudal age on top of being up to feudal quicker. So this is my chance to scout the middle. So that's why I'm doing that now. Get back into my base afterwards, and I'll lure that last deer later.
Ah, interesting. So you're trying to get as much intel as you can before you lose control of the middle, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So what else? I mean, with arena, I see you built two houses there, kind of a secondary wall up against the right-hand wood line. What else do you notice about your map gen and how you're approaching a build?
Well, this is a fantastic map for me, I think. I mean, I got the back gold, back stone, sort of back secondary gold. Lots of space here if I need it. I actually couldn't ask for a better map, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, not much valuable resources out front. I mean, berries, right? But those aren't necessary. Like a gold or a stone, they're not necessary, basically.
Indeed. Another note is with that human boom I was telling you about, which is what I think my opponent's going to do at this point in the game. What he's sacrificing is relic control by doing that, because he's going to be very late to castle age. So in theory, unless I mess up, I should be able to get all 5 relics. That's kind of the trade-off of the human strategy.
Okay, so are you already thinking about that when you're looking at anticipating that he'll go for the long play boom type strategy? You're already thinking I need to get a castle age as fast as possible, obviously because it's arena, but then get those monks out as soon as quickly too, right?
Exactly. I mean, I know he's going to do one of two things. He's going to do the Siege Workshop Ram Tower Rush, or he's going to do the Cuman Boom. So when he hits feudal age, which will be around, I think, 9 minutes or so, I mean, I'll know right away if I see villagers pounding down my walls.
Right.
And if I don't, then he's doing the Cuman Boom.
Okay. And do you thinking archers here or cavalry or as the Byzantine player?
It's too soon to decide.
Okay.
We're first I'm worried about relics, and then, if he does the Cuman boom, if he does a Castle Age push, the most common attack would be like 3 stables, fully upgraded knights, and capped rams.
Mhm.
So if he does that, it's actually super strong. You need to do lots of pikemen, defensive castle, because if you just boom and go to Imperial, he's gonna run over you really, really easily.
Gotcha. And so it sounds like you put relics in high esteem on an arena map, especially because they last longer. They go late, so the relics become even more important than, say, in Arabia where there's early aggression.
Well, definitely. I mean, if you get all 5 relics, to me that changes how you approach the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically have unlimited gold, right? So if you have all 5 relics and your opponent has 0, you literally only need to stay alive and you're going to win the game. So that's pretty important. That applies to even Arabia and open maps,
Sure.
but especially on Arena. And as you can see here, he, as expected, is doing the Cuman boom, second TC going up right away, and all he's going to do is pump out villagers and boom away. And as you'll see, his vill count, he gets way ahead of me.
Okay, so right now it's 25-23 at 10 minutes, and we'll take a look at 20 minutes, for example, and see where that's at.
Yeah. And again, as I mentioned, my scout pretty much trapped here. If he catches me outside, that's a dead scout. So
Right.
you just gotta chill in your base.
Okay. And will you use your scout to kind of escort your monks to collect those relics?
Yes, but if his scout catches that, my scout can't prevent his scout from killing a monk.
Right.
So I will do a lot of barracks and add some spearmen.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was getting at, right? It's like, how do you escort your monks? Do you just send them out there and hope for the best, or do you have a plan for something like that? So spearmen sounds like a good strategy.
And as Byzantines, as you see, so the camel riders, spearmen, pikes cost minus 25%. It's actually a pretty awesome bonus for this purpose.
Mm-hmm. But not scouts.
So they cost
That's interesting.
26
So
food, 19. Yeah,
so skirms
not
and
scouts.
halberdiers trash units cost less, but not the scout trash unit.
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah, Byzantine's kind of known as one of those trash civs for that reason. And I noticed you executed a fast castle here perfectly, right? Got your market and blacksmith down ASAP and clicked in instantly, timed it.
You see, I see his scout here,
Mhm.
so I still want to scout the map, but I'm staying on the right side. I'm trying to avoid his scout, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
that's
you-
intentional, because
do you
he
kinda-
showed his scout.
You keep one eye on the minimap at all times for that, I'd imagine?
Actually, if you look at my minimap now, so I have a hockey for this. Notice how my base disappeared?
Uh-huh.
So this is the military view. So
Right.
when I do this, if his scope pops up right here, on the minimap, you're going to see a blue speck, like right here,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it a lot easier to notice than if, now. See the
Right.
difference? All the colors, and so this is actually a pretty good tool to use to notice flank attacks or stuff like that.
That's a great tip. Thank you. Something I didn't even think of. I'm sure many of us hadn't.
And actually, there's another hockey I have right beside it would be the economy view, and
Mhm.
you notice what this does is the relics, those little white dots.
Mm.
So it shows the white dots on the normal view, but sometimes with all the other colors on the map, especially in team games, it can
Absolutely.
be hard to see. So I can quickly, okay, I know where the relics are, go back to normal.
Yep.
Military, and you should use hotkeys for this.
So you go for, what's your first move? It's a monastery? Yeah. When do
Yeah.
you think about building your next town center?
So it should already be up.
There you go.
There
So
we go,
right away.
immediately.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In a perfect world, you drop 2 TCs, but you're not going to be able to afford it right away.
Yeah.
So as soon as you can, though, you drop the second TC. But let's look at the bill counts already. It's
Oh yeah,
only
we're at 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. Incredible. So 29. You were 25 to 23. Now it's 29 to 43. Incredible. So that's the Cuman boom for
Yeah.
you right there.
That's the power of the Cuman boom for sure. So he's you can see getting ready to close to clicking up to Castle
But
Age.
still hasn't. So you have that Castle Age advantage that you're trying to capitalize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some players will think
And now,
capitalize with the castle in his face, but you're thinking more long term, prioritizing relics.
correct. I don't like the forward castle, and I mean, so if we check the statistics here, economy, notice the food collected.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 500 more on food. He's 400 more on wood, and that difference is going to increase even more as we carry on through the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the benefit of the Cuman boom. And if he decides to, what I expect him to do, and we'll see if he does it or not, is to make 3 stables.
Mm-hmm.
You can pump out non-stop knights from 3 stables, and there's no way I can compete with that, just because his economy is so much better.
Right, but you can compete with that with the monks and pikemen.
Indeed, for now though.
Right.
Once if he does those 3 stables pumping though, it would we're talking like 20 knights fully upgraded.
Mm-hmm. And now, do you go for the far relics first or the close relics first? What's your preference? Just in a general rule.
So it depends. I mean, it's better to get the far ones, but it's also greedier.
Right.
So, like I typically like to get one that's super close right away.
Mm-hmm.
So my first monk got this one. My second monk snuck because I knew his scout was here. My second monk snuck to the side. And actually, one thing you'll notice is kind of unusual is I drop the relics.
Uh-huh.
Because once they're in my base, I can always take them later.
Absolutely.
I just need to get them away from him.
Absolutely.
Drop them, go get them, drop them. Because that little bit of time saved could make a big difference.
A little bit, nothing. That's like 2 minutes of monk walking. Let's be honest. Those guys are slow. That's a great tip too.
Indeed.
Yeah, well done. And you made 3 monks, no more, no less, or are you just kind of anticipating?
No, I'm
nice
still making monks, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll pause it here to mention that I think he's going to go lots of knights to push me, right?
Uh-huh.
So if he does do that, these monks are going to be useful regardless.
Absolutely.
And if you've watched some of my other games, you'll know that in Imperial as well, like I utilize monks pretty much the entire game, especially if you have a civilization that has good monks, which Byzantines does. So it's not going to be a waste. So absolutely make the monks.
Yeah, I did notice that converting siege units, siege onagers and whatnot. And you say that the Byzantines are good monk civs. Is that for a particular reason? They have a full tech tree, or is there a bonus that you leverage?
For sure, I'll briefly talk about this. So they don't have a bonus. So Aztecs have an insane bonus for monks.
Right.
Burmese have a monk bonus. So they don't, aside from the heal speed, which I mean it's helpful, but it's not really a monk bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 techs that are super important, and I find a lot of lower level players don't really understand what all these monk techs mean. So the 3 that are critical, or really the 2 that are critical, is right here: redemption and block printing. Redemption lets you convert buildings, but more importantly, it lets you convert siege units.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very critical part of that. So if you're getting, let's say, like on Arabia or any map, pushed by a siege push, so Mangonels particularly, the redemption will really shut down any siege pushes really, really quickly. And Sanctity gives your monks 50% more HP. So they go from 30 HP to 45 HP. And the reason that's important is the most common usage, as I said, is against Mangonels. And if we go to the Mangonel here, you're going to see their damage is 40. So a Mangonel will one-shot a monk. But once you get Sanctity, it will not one-shot a monk. It takes 2 hits. And the reload time for a Mangonel is actually quite long. So if you have one monk and you click on a Mangonel and he clicks on your monk, you're almost always going to convert it. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you don't have Sanctity, your monk will die. So it's super
you obviously can't micro monks away from onager shots or Mangonel shots.
No.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, if you can convert one onager, then you control it. You can hit their other onagers or units. So it kind of snowballs, right?
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool.
And then block printing 3 ranges. I mean, kind of self-explanatory. The power of the monk is their range, so that's huge.
Yeah, this is one of the most underrated techs in the game, in my opinion, because people don't realize how important 3 range is. I mean, as you said, they already have 9 range, so once you add 3 to that, well, they now have the same range as, and the best example here is the bombard cannon. So
amazing.
They have 12 range. So now monks hard counter bombard cannons, and now onagers have 8 range. So you have 4 more range than an onager, so it's actually a joke. Like, it's super easy to counter onagers.
Right.
So now, quickly, I want to something kind of cool here. So a cool little mechanic, a trick here I can show you. So his scout is going to try to snipe my monk here.
Okay.
And it's kind of a toss-up. There's a bit of RNG randomness involved in terms of how it gets, calculated. My spear's out of position. He did a good job, like, maneuvering away. So my spear's not going to be helpful here. These spears way out of position. They're helping this monk. So really, all I have here to stop getting sniped is the monk itself and the scout. So I'll play it on slow speed, so you can see here.
Oh, look at the block. Oh, so close.
So that little block was the difference between losing the monk and converting his scout. If I didn't do the block, he would have definitely sniped.
Right. Which is huge.
So
And you don't know this at the time, but that's the only cavalry out on the field by the enemy. So that's huge.
For sure. So, and I mean, from there, now I have full relic control. So there's going to be 4. There's the last relic there, and I'm going to grab it here.
Very
and now,
cool.
as you can see, these ones I dropped on the ground, I can just pick them up now, and I have all 5 relics. So that's fantastic.
Meanwhile, you dropped a 3rd TC while all that is going on.
Yeah. But as you can see, he's almost 18 villagers ahead of me.
Mm-hmm. You still, I noticed
So
you
now
only
I have
3 on
to-
gold too, which is interesting. For me, I'd always like prioritize gold, but it seems like you're still kind of in a eco boom mode with your prioritizing farms. Is that right?
Well, pretty much, I mean, all of us have done a boom on Black Forest, for example, or, even Arena. Basically, that's all you're doing. You're just booming at home. The only difference is you have to micro to get the relics in the middle at the same time. And all you need is 1 monastery, so 3 on gold is fine, and the spears don't cost any gold. So
Yeah.
you don't really need more than that for now. But yeah, so I guess now we kind of move on to the next stage in the game. So this is interesting here. So I scout the castle. So remember how I said the 3 stable knights is a super strong approach or strategy? So when I see the castle, well, now I know he's actually not doing the knights. He's going to be doing Kipchuks, the unique unit for Cumans.
Also very powerful in its own right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of weird because Cumans don't get Bracer, the last upgrade for attack and range. But Kipchuks kind of act like Magnadai, where they attack really fast, and they're definitely a scary unit. Just one of those weird things that Cumans are just all around a very unusual civilization.
So when you see that and know he's going Kipchuks, what do you tech into skirmishers, and you're happy because you have cheap skirms? Or what's your plan?
Exactly, yeah. So my plan now is he has Kipchuks, I want to go skirmishers. But if you notice, he's already 32% Imperial. So he's, 32%. I'm not even close to clicking up. So, even though my vill count caught up to his, where he's only 3 villagers ahead now, he's halfway to imp, and I'm not even close. So he's going to have that early Imperial push where, that's where he's trying to win the game. He doesn't care that I have all 5 relics. He's going to win the game in early imp. And now I'm thinking, oh crap, I need to stay alive.
And do you stay alive by building a castle yourself? Probably not, right? Because Trebs will take it down.
Well, that was the plan. You see, I have 8 on stone, but it's still going to take me a bit. Right now is when I'm realizing that there's no way I'm going to click up to Imperial. If I'm going to hold, I need to stay in Castle Age. He's already at my door with Kipchuks. No, the monks are pretty useful here.
They do have to outrange the Kipchuks for sure. And you have more monks converting 1 unit that makes it go faster, correct?
Correct, but you're going to use up all the faith on
yeah.
the monks if you do it that way. But I don't really care because I'm inside my base, so if I convert 1, I can just wait for them to recharge. Right. It doesn't matter right now, but yeah. The outpost, super clutch. That's not enough players do that, I think. When now he has all the map control, I don't. So building that outpost gives me this vision, and now I see this. I would not have seen this castle if it wasn't for the outpost.
Absolutely.
Now he's already Imperial, so my castle I'm making it further back intentionally, because if I make my castle right here, it's going to get shoved down pretty much immediately.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I mean, if I'm a lower level player, so I'd think castle, protect me, and I'd put it out front foolishly, because as you said, it would just go tread right down.
So this is where some mind games come into play, and
Okay.
this is going to be kind of cool thing to talk about. So
Sure.
I know he's going Kipchucks, right? So as you said, what unit should I make? Skirmishers, of course, right? And that's what I'm doing. But he knows that I know he's going Kipchucks,
Sure.
so he knows that I'm probably going to go Skirmishers. And you can see what he's doing is now he's going Onager, which is actually really smart of him,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like countering what I'm making to counter him.
Yep. But then you have the monks to take care of the onagers.
Well, exactly. And that's where it's like a cat and mouse back and forth countering game.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing now is just trying to stay alive.
So you're just dropping more archery ranges, booming all the while to get to imp as fast as possible at this point.
Sort of, but I mean,
Or
if I'm
you're
going to keep
spending
making
your
skirmish first,
you're spending your food on
Yeah.
skirms. Yeah.
and villagers, right? So I'm really not, I'm in this awkward position of I can't really click up, but I can't not make units,
Mm-hmm.
because he's already starting to, start the siege on my buildings.
And you just anticipate that you're going to lose this forward row of buildings, correct?
There's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. A lot of people might freak out and start repairing. You'll probably start building a few archery ranges out of range like you've done already, to make up for it. Yeah. Do you find you come up against the same players often? Like Ankar, have you played with him before? When you get to higher levels,
Yeah,
it's a smaller population, right?
For sure. Definitely. I played him a couple times, yeah. Okay, so one little thing to note here is, I've made this mistake in the past. I'm glad I didn't this game, but I just lost my range and my market.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to hit Imperial. So when I do hit Imperial, getting Bracer for my skirms is very, very important.
Right.
So I actually realized, oh crap, he's gonna kill my blacksmith. So I've already remade it. Actually.
Brilliant. Yep. Yeah, it's something I've been practicing myself is crucial buildings, not using them as walls. Even though the market makes for a great wall, or a blacksmith is really handy when you're quick walling arena. Not quick walling arena, but establishing your base in arena. But then I've noticed that I might lose those buildings in the beginning of the fight, and it's super frustrating.
For sure. And he actually killed my market too, and I didn't
Yeah.
remake that, but that would kind of bite me in the ass later, but that's okay.
So what else is going through your mind at this
Yeah.
moment?
So he's doing something smart. So notice how I can see his Kipchucks,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not upgraded. I didn't notice this in the game. I should have, but if you're going Kipchucks, why do you not have +2/+2 by now,
Right.
So I have 41 skirmishers, and I'm still pumping skirmishers to deal with what is actually 7 non-upgraded Kipchucks.
Right.
So that was a great move by him.
Mm. And
He
he's
actually
hiding
has
siege.
the Onager.
Yeah, he's hiding it all.
So now I see it, and you can see before I saw it, I was already getting block printing because I always get block printing.
Right.
That's just a useful tech regardless. I can convert his Kipchucks, whatever he makes later. But now it's crap. Okay, if I'm gonna not die, it's gonna be with monks. That's my only chance to not die.
Yeah. Or siege of your own, but it's kind of late to tech into that at this point.
Well, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, in this situation with the Onagers, I guess a lot of players would think, okay, I'll make cavalry or, hussars or siege, but really, I mean, how am I going to make siege now? I don't have the resources, I don't have the space,
Uh-huh.
It's too late. He already has, 3, 5 Onagers, he's making another 2, so he'll have 7. Like, if I make siege to counter this, he's going to win.
Yeah.
There's just no way siege is going to work, right? Plus he has trebs, which can snipe my siege as well. So siege actually is not a counter to this.
Right. And I like how you scrambled and got those relics since you could.
Yep.
Oh, hurt his own unit there.
Yeah.
So just defensive
I
tech,
actually,
things like chemistry,
don't-
obviously still
yeah.
booming. I see. I'm just looking at your unit and research bar.
Yeah, so chemistry is super important for the bombard cannons. That's why I deleted my farms here, made another siege workshop, because I need to get bombard cannons.
Right. One of my favorite units of all time, especially with Ethiopians with that splash damage. They're just so much more mobile
Yeah,
than Trebs.
for sure. Okay, so this is where the magic of monks come into play.
There's one. The castle took out one. Suddenly you went from 9 to 5. Oh, and then you took out another with your converted. And all you've lost is a few skirms at this point. And now he's down to 2.
And even if I lose the skirms, I don't even care about the skirms. He could kill all of them. It doesn't matter. I just need to get the onagers.
Yep. Oh, and there's another conversion. So now he's down to 1 onager. And then you look to get the trebs, shoot the trebs with your... No, you went for his onager back there. Brilliant. Oh, and you got another one. So what is that, 3 or 4 total conversions of the 9 or 11 onagers that he had? And you have... Oh, how'd that not kill it? You also had chemistry where he doesn't. So that's interesting. And you got some bombard cannons coming in the back now, which outrange siege onagers, obviously, and can be used to take out the trebs. And suddenly his whole army's gone. You've lost a lot of buildings, true. But you haven't lost a single monk. If he throws kip checks on the field, you have skirms waiting. Nice.
Yeah, so the value of that, the amount of resources in gold he just lost compared to me.
Astronomical.
I don't think I lost, actually, I think I only lost skirmishers.
Yeah.
I don't think I lost a single gold unit.
Some spearmen and skirmishers, yeah. I don't think you... And buildings, but no gold. And if you think about the game in terms... Oh! Good hit. If you think about the game in terms of just gold spent, and the fact that you have all that gold in reserve, right? It's pretty amazing. And he just threw his kip checks out. You didn't lose... Well, you lost 1 monk. Yeah, amazing.
Okay, so now I kind of briefly want to pause and
Sure.
talk about... so this is like a pivotal moment. I just took back map control. So he knows that I have a ton of skirmishers, right? Bombard cannons. So what counters this?
Monks?
That Cumans is good at.
Knights. No. Well,
Exactly.
Knights, but the monks are
Right,
out there.
Knights or Hussars.
Yeah.
Which they get a bonus for Hussars. So I don't really need the skirmishers anymore. I've killed his kip checks.
Mhm.
Skirmishers are kind of useless. So I've already started now dropping more ranges, and you can see I'm switching to archers. So now I'm getting thumb ring, I'm getting crossbow arbalest. So I'm making the switch to archers now.
And you also knowing that you took out his forward castle, so Kipchak production, if he does go Kipchak, still is cut in half. But you're
For sure.
you're
And
guessing at this
arbalest
point that
counts
he's
for
not.
Right, definitely. But even if he does go Kipchucks, Arbalest trade pretty well against them regardless.
Mm-hmm. And you got another Mangonel conversion, and use the Mangonel quickly to snipe his Mangonel. You got all 3 of those
see this
Mangonels.
bug?
Incredible.
This is such an annoying bug. Thanks, DE. They see that they keep transforming back after you convert them.
I did, yeah. I noticed that on the other game that I cast of yours. You chatted at your enemy like, why is it a Mangonel? So,
That's
yeah.
super annoying.
Oh,
And you'll see
look
here.
at that.
I actually didn't realize. Yeah, that was a good play by him.
Yeah, he's got that
just going
gold.
Yeah, and that's one of my main goals, right? My starting
Mhm.
goals. Good play by him. But I mean, now he's lost map control, right? So.
And yeah, you have the bombard cannons to take that out if you want to. Can you press pause and take a look at the military and villager populations real quick? I'm just curious. Villager, you're not that far behind. Military, 60 to 13. Yeah.
And again, you can't forget the relics, right? So now with it being 5-0 for relics, he's already wasted a lot of gold, so he's kind of on a timer. He has to win the game. So really what I'm thinking about now is getting my gold back here, take down this castle. This is huge. So there's, an extra stone, an extra gold right here, and an extra stone, extra gold here. So I want to prevent him from taking this gold, prevent him from taking this gold, and I pretty much won the game if I can do that.
So you're just sending your skirms out to scout, keeping your arbs back to protect the bombard cannons.
Right.
Checking on where each of the gold resources are. And you've also scouted all his stables, so you know he's going Hussar.
Exactly.
If you
These
did
are
already.
useless. I'm pretty much sacrificing the skirms. They're not helpful at all anymore. They can, just send them in, delete them, whatever.
Caught your monks out in the open on that one, though.
Yep. Yep, that was good by him.
Second castle down. 1,600 stone wasted. Well, not wasted, but gone, I should say. And you instantly start building production buildings. This is one thing, I don't know if you caught the replay of your other arena match, but I was so impressed with how quickly you built up behind your push to secure that map control.
Yeah, no, building in the middle is super important. It gives you the map control, but it also gives you more production buildings.
And at this point, you have basically pop. Are you going to stay around 120 villas, ideally?
Yeah, about that. I think 140 is the standard, but you can get away with less, depending on the circumstances. I have 5 relics, so I think this is a good amount. You'll notice I'm still producing monks, even in Imperial, right? Just one at a time, one monastery to replenish the ones that he killed.
What's your ideal number? You like 9? Is that your favorite?
5 to 10,
5
depending.
to 10? Yeah, okay.
Now, if he's still making onagers, which he is, I'm gonna prioritize monks. They're actually still the most important unit in the game for me right now.
Those arbs, man. And you got another conversion? Almost. Ooh, he sniped a few, but I think you might have gotten one. And now you got the house working.
Again, the value of these trades is insane, right? Like the amount of resources gold specifically, another 5 onagers he just lost.
Right. Might have even been more.
Yep.
All the while losing ground, right? So
one thing I do, you might have noticed in the previous game, I like to do this a lot. So I'll get fortified wall and just make massive walls anywhere randomly really quickly, like here, whatever. Just to kind of zone off the map, and I find it's intimidating. Once somebody did that against me, and it was annoying to play against. So
you just
I actually
feel trapped.
Like doing that. Yeah.
And he keeps sending out the light cav to snipe these monks, which is the right call.
One monk for four onagers, right?
Right.
Value.
Love those bombard cannons, sniping Kipcheks. Yeah, the walls are epic. It just funnels the enemy in. You've already scouted out that there's no resources on that side of the wall to worry about. So you've placed the wall specifically where it gives you the gold and the stone that you wanted.
Indeed. Now, another thing I like to do, so let's say you're playing Mongols, for example. You're going to make a lot of Baghdadi, so you need to make a lot of castles. But I'm Byzantines, and, cataphracts aren't that great unless you're playing, an infantry civ, so I don't need cataphracts this game. Mm-hmm. So I don't make any more castles. I have my one castle here.
Yep.
And I actually wasn't even going to make this one, but I lost my first castle, and I forgot to research conscription.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mistake I made. So I had to make a second castle.
Sure.
But once this one is up, I'm not making any more castles. If you have a civ that has access to it, as Byzantines do, switch to bombard towers. They're so underutilized, in my opinion, and they're very, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Not
I think you
many
can make
civs get bombard
5
towers,
bombard.
though.
No,
It's interesting.
you're right. Not many do, but you get 5 bombard towers for the same stone cost as 1 castle. So
And they
that's
cover each other. So.
Yeah, and they're really, again, intimidating for the opponent to play against.
And it's super accurate too for like a stationary tower. I've just noticed like they'll snipe units as they come running up.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like in this matchup is Cumans, so the only way to take these out is Trebs, and he's losing all his castles. Plus, they have bombard cannons. He doesn't have access to bombard cannons with Cumans, so really only siege ram. That's his only option, and that's a hard thing to tech into. And it's he really has no way to push back once you start adding the bombard towers.
Right. So he's still fighting, but you're thinking at this point he kind of has a feeling that it's over?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. The game's over now. There's not much he can do. I mean, let's look at his gold situation for a second. There's this here. I think he's almost out of gold in his base.
And he's got 300 in the bank. I looked at yours and I think you're at like 1,500.
So, by the way, this is an important tech that a lot of people don't talk about guilds. In Arena, it's very important. So humans do have access to it, so do I. But this helps a lot with late game. And what that actually does, just to, I guess, clarify, is once you bottomed out the market prices, which we haven't yet, but instead of 14 gold per 100 wood or food, you're going to get 17, so 3 extra gold.
He's trying to find any place to farm at this point.
Yeah, he actually is pushing 70 farmers, which is quite a bit. And I mean, when you're picking an arena civ, you actually have to think about sort of pause super quick, like the late game composition. Like when there's no gold, let's forget about relics. And as Cumans, they don't get bracers, so their skirmishers are pretty crappy, so they can't go skirmishers. They're going to go Hussar, right? So they have a bonus for them. They have access. They're fully upgraded. That's what Cumans is going to do. But against Byzantines with, plus Byzantines with gold, I have good cheap halberdiers. It's just a civ win as well. So on top of the fact that I have 5 relics, it's really, really hard for the Cuman player to win once the game gets to this stage.
And I like how, too, you've kept your arms back. You've just let the bombard cannons slowly push forth. It's not worth it to risk an onager shot or something when you're not ready for it. So let the bombards be your line of sight. Use the arms as protection.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'll point out a mistake I made. I realized this when I rewatched the game. So remember earlier I was showing you the hotkeys for the minimap where it, shows you the relics and all that? So in a messy late game situation like this, every once in a while what you should do is go to the military view. So that's what I'm doing right now. Do you notice anything odd on the minimap?
I see one red dot on the way back.
Okay, so see how that stands out so easily now? So I didn't do this, mainly because the game was already over, but I also forgot. So when we look at what that dot is, well, there's a flag on my team.
Yeah.
Look at that. So if this had been a close game that went late game, this could be like a huge mistake, right? Because you're basically handicapping yourself by, you're 193 max instead of 200.
Right.
So
it's not just the units that's not being used, it's the fact that they're taking up pop space that could be arbs or something else more important.
Exactly, yeah. And try to remember, I mean, it's easier said than done, but refreshing your lumber camps. You see a lot of low-level players where they're chopping from here and they're still using this lumber camp.
Yeah. Yeah, I just played a long Black Forest game, and I was kind of chuffed with myself for remembering to do that constantly. Doing little things like that add up in a game for sure. It'll help you win.
No, the game's obviously over. I think he's going to resign any second now.
Yep.
But yeah, I was actually then doing the next tech switch. Since I have the 5 relics and the control, it was just going to be Paladin.
That rude.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Kanaduh. Congrats on another win. Before long, you'll be sitting at the top of the leaderboard, I imagine. So.
Long way to go for that, but no, thanks for casting with me. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully this was helpful.
I think so, and stay tuned for more from Kanaduh, more arena tutorials. He's got a lot of bag of tricks that he'll share with everybody so that we can all get good like him. But for now, this is Sneaky Chiefy on behalf of Kanaduh, signing off.